Hello, this is Matt from tracyandmatt.co.uk and from unboxings.com, and here I have the Sanyo Xacti CS1. Full designation is VPC-CS1. I'm going to do a quick unboxing video for you, take a quick look before we do a full review. Now, if you've watched many of our videos in the past, you'll know that I've reviewed several of these Sanyo Xacti models in the past, and I'm actually also recording this on a Sanyo Xacti HD 1010. I quite like the Sanyo Xacti models and the actual range. They do work quite well, and their recording is decent, and they record straight to memory card, which you can then put in your computer. So have a quick look at what the CS1 has to offer. So first of all, we have a quick guide, which is printed in a variety of languages. An addendum, by the looks of it, about using the internal memory. The complete guide for basic operation, and that's another getting started guide printed in different languages. Safety manual and additional notes. There's Xacti software, total media, extreme, screen capture and instruction manual as a PDF. Then inside, first thing to have popped out in my hand is the actual battery charger. So we have to take the battery out and put it in this to charge it. It takes a standard sort of figure 8 style cable there. Then have a wrist strap, which is kind of a leather thing, so that we can attach that, help stop well, dropping it, I guess. We have the camera itself. I'm going to come back to in just a moment. We'll look at that a bit more closely. We have a USB cable, and just open that. It's a standard USB on one end, then you've got this sort of proprietary tiny connector on the other for what else plugs into the camera. Use that for copying your footage off, but I'd suggest using the memory card really and use a card reader. It's a lot quicker. We have a AV cable, so that's a composite and left and right audio, and again it has that tiny little connector on there, plugs into the camera itself. We have a mains cable, which obviously plugs into the charger, and a few other bits and pieces that are just sort of stuck underneath. We have a lens cap, and we have a little, well, effectively a bit of string for holding the lens cap on. Lens cap just sort of pops on the front there, like so. So just move all that out of the way. That's kind of the box opened up. Have a look around the camera itself. So at the time of its launch, the CS1 was actually the world's smallest HD recording digital camcorder. It does record full HD 1920 by 1080 pixels. It has here, as you can see, an 8 megapixel sensor and 10 times advanced zoom. I don't think that's purely optical. I think the advanced zoom does actually bring digital into play. But we'll take a look at that when we come to do the full review. So quite a neat design. It is silver. It's a little bit worn on the side here because I guess it's been out to more than one reviewer. But I guess that's sort of indicative of the sort of wear that you could expect over a period of time. But it is extremely slim and small, as you can see there. Easily will fit in your pocket. Screen opens just like so, and then it actually does start the camera up, although you can override that. And we could actually just power off if we want to. So we've got a decent sized screen on the inside, which is a widescreen arrangement, and it tells you things around the outside of the display, including the fact that we're recording in 8 megapixel mode, and that video is in HD SHQ mode, and that we can record another 38 seconds to the internal memory. Not a great deal of internal memory, or we can record 19 photos, 19 stills. At the side we can switch between record and play mode, and really the internal memory, I guess that's just so you can test things out more than anything else, because 38 seconds of video recording and 19 photos really aren't going to get you very far. But the buttons down the side actually do allow you to go through all the menus, so you can change the TV mode, and you can actually set the recording modes. So you've got this little jog dial, or sort of, well, almost like a cursor arrangement down the side there, so you can actually get through the menu. It's a little bit fiddly because they are tiny little buttons, but you're not going to use it too much. And then we can just go out and back out of the menu. Those are really the controls on the inside. You do have to have it open to be shooting, and it does assume that you're going to be using it right-handed rather than left-handed, because the screen is slightly in the way for a left-handed operation. But if you use it right-handed, it's not such a big deal. On the top, we've got a button there. The first one is actually press that and it will record a still photo, and then you have your zoom controls, so zoom in and out. Obviously that works okay, it's quite smooth and fairly sensitive, so you can just hold it slightly and it will zoom a little bit slower. It doesn't have an awful lot of movement on it, so you know, you can't get a lot of fine control on it because the movement actually on the switch isn't a great deal, the travel isn't a great deal. Then there's a button underneath which is where we press to start and stop video recording, and we can just start like so, and it's got anti-shake switched on, so it should make that fairly smooth, and then we can stop the recording. Once the recording stopped, it'll then update here to say how much more we can record. So I'm recording in 720p mode, and I've managed to record a few seconds there, and as you can see that's actually gone down the amount that we can store left. Underneath the screen you have a power button, so we can actually override the function of the screen coming open to turn it on or off. And then we have space here for the SD card, so it takes full-size SD cards, they go in there. And on the front we have another space, just open up, a tad fiddly. But under here we have that connector where we plug in the USB cable and the AV cable, and then we have a mini HDMI connector, so you can output straight to a TV to actually watch the footage back using the camera itself. On the bottom here is where we put the battery, and that just goes underneath and closes up. Then we have a 1/4 inch screw thread for putting on a tripod, and well, that's really kind of about it. On the front we have the lens itself, which is a bit exposed, and you can already see that it's got a few fingerprints on it while I've been handling it, but it's 3.2 to 28.8 millimeters in the zoom. And then above we do have a flash, and that just works for stills. It doesn't work for, it's not a camera light, you can't use it for video. So that's really about it. We can record in Full HD 1920 by 1080 or 720p, various other modes including sort of like almost like a webcam mode, VGA mode, and so on. So there are an awful lot of recording modes, too many to really list. And your basic sort of camera controls such as timer, self-timer and that sort of stuff, if you want to use it for taking pictures which you want to be in, which is quite good. That's an LED light on the front, by the way, not a xenon flash, it's just an LED flash. But I guess that's partly, you know, what they've actually done to make it that bit smaller. And an 8 megapixel sensor in here is pretty impressive. So as I say, this is the Sanyo Xacti VPC-CS1. We'll have a full review for you over the next few weeks. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/TracyandMatt, and we'll have some more videos and reviews on tracyandmatt.co.uk very soon. But for now, thanks for watching.
Bitdefender is dedicated to protecting people's digital lives, so working with unboxes.com to help preview and review the latest technology is a perfect fit.